It's a matter of opinion.
Well tired.
Good evening, everybody. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Here.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Here.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Here.
Councilman Marcocha?
Here.
Supervisor Colavita?
Here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have some historic royalty here in the room. I want to turn the microphone over to Sheila Marcotte for an introduction, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. I would like to call to welcome the Historical Society. We have Lissa Halen here with us this evening and our very well-known town historian, Dick Foliano. And I think, Lissa, you're going to come first and speak? Okay, yeah, please go to the microphone. I'll preface this with, no worries, Dick. Many of you know that Dick is our town historian. He's been in that role for many, many years. He's a very integral part of the Eastchester Historical Society. And joining him this evening is our almost newly elected President, Lissa Halen, who now shares that title with Jack Flannery. We're excited to have you here, and you've done so many good things for the Historical Society, so thank you for that. I don't want to steal your thunder. I know you're excited about a tremendous achievement that Dick, and an award, if you will, that Dick has received from the state. So you have the floor, Lissa.
That was Jack calling. That's my co-president.
Yes.
He was supposed to call all day, but that's okay. He's 27 years old. So
and that's Jack.
So he doesn't always get it done on time. So, all of us here and anyone who's listening know that Richard Foliano is a gem. And they know his love of history, they know his love of people, and the way he uses his love of history to bring people together. And that's one of the reasons that he received one of the most prestigious awards for public historians in the state of New York. It's the Association of Public Historians Award for Excellence in Promoting Local History through research, writing, and other related accomplishments. Liz Leckie, the former Tuckahoe historian, called Laney Provenzano and I during the summer and said, hey, let's nominate Dick for this award. Well, we reached out to people all over the area, historians, archivists, directors, and the letters and testimonials just poured in. And they were full of accolades. People were thrilled to be able to talk about him. I'm just going to read a couple of short snippets. There were 20 people who wrote letters for him. And one of them was nicer than the other, but a couple of them really hit the mark for Richard. And this is from David Osborne at St. Paul's. A real sign of a gifted teacher is lighting a spark that lasts a long time. Here at St. Paul's, we've been fortunate enough to play host to many, and I mean hundreds, of his former students. They come as visitors by themselves with families, but mostly they come because they had Mr. Foliano in 7th grade, and he sparked a lifelong interest in American history. Most of these visitors, the Foliano alumni, I call them, say that even though they pursued occupations other than teaching, they never forgot the great stories and topics that Mr. Foliano covered in class, and they've remained interested and passed their enthusiasm along to their children now. So I don't think you can have more of an accolade than that, but they talk about his meticulous research, his related accomplishments, how he draws people into whatever he does, and the biggest thing is how he really effectively communicates all this. That's one of the big things. There can be historians who can be very scholarly, let's call them, and you kind of don't want to have as much conversation with them, but Richard Foliano is the total opposite of that. And I'll just end it with someone who said, I've worked alongside Richard for the past decade in a variety of capacities. I have the utmost respect for him, and I've seen that respect shown by others. I believe what is most remarkable is his ability to stir such tremendous enthusiasm for history in the hearts of his students over the years, igniting a lifelong passion for many. This was exemplified when we were marching for the Ward House in a local parade. With Richard dressed, all I heard were shouts and cheers of Mr. Forliano from the waving sidelines.
Yep.
So now, with this award, all of New York State knows what a gem we have. And thank you, Richard, for being a friend to the Eastchester community for all these years. And we just can't congratulate you. There's no one more deserving.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Listen, you make me feel very good. In fact, you took the first, Joe, you gave me great advice. If you make a good short presentation, that's much better than a long, boring presentation. And Lisa, thank you. You covered the first 2 minutes of my presentation, so this will even be shorter. It's been 40 decades that I've worked as Eastchester Town historian. And one of the great things about historic Eastchester, including the two villages of Tuckahoe and Bronxville, but historic Eastchester goes back to the year 1664, 360 years of history. And one of the things that I really emphasize is about the people, and Tony, we've talked about it, the different waves of immigrants who moved to Eastchester. First it was the Dutch and the English, along with the enslaved. Then, starting in the 1840s, it was the famine Irish. And it would take almost 50 years before the largest ethnic group, the Italians, moved in. And in the 20th century, other ethnic, racial, and religious groups have moved to the town. I received this award because of the input that you on the town board and many others have helped me with over the years. And I want to thank you for it, because while I got an award, the award really was for Eastchester and its rich history and how it's taken waves of immigrants. And one of the things that I highlight are those people, and you guys got to feel good, you're all included, that have made Eastchester what it is today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
Joe, was that short enough?
You could go more if you want to. Tony won't like it, but
That's all
I
right.
want to show you the award I got.
Sure. It's terrific, Dick. We're very, very proud of your efforts and everything you do for the town. It's wonderful. A lot of hard work.
Dick, I don't know if the camera can see this, but it's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations, Dick. And thank you for all you do, not just for the town, but for the Historical Society, for Tuckahoe, and for the students. It's amazing. Thank you.
You know, it's an old town, like you said, 1664, so we are steeped in history, so you really have quite an undertaking. If we got formed in 1955, like some of the places out west, it wouldn't be as difficult, but you've covered a lot of ground, and again, as was said, you did a magnificent job, and you've influenced so many people in this town. It's really quite remarkable, Dick. Very, very lucky to have you.
Just think of the Eastchester Covenant and what it really means.
That's right. Remember, we had chatted on the day that we celebrated the 350th anniversary. We talked all about what you just enunciated and the fact that Eastchester is a compilation of families. And it still is that way. And that's always been the priority, to make it a family-friendly town. And, you know, I like to think that we had a little hand in doing that, but certainly, you know, your recitations that day were beautiful also. So we're very lucky to have you. So God bless you. Thank you. And we will not be insulted if you choose to leave during our agenda. That's okay, so don't worry. So we have approval of the minutes of the October 15th Town Board meeting. Any amendments or modifications?
Nope.
No? There being none, I'll move to adopt same as submitted. Ask for a second.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have reports of departments, boards, and commissions. Law Department report, Mr. Rader.
Yes, good evening. I have a resolution authorizing the settlement of a claim by Jenny Steinhagen against the town of Eastchester in the amount of $3,420.42 for damages sustained to Ms. Steinhagen's vehicle.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, next, I have a resolution authorizing the approval of an application for a special event permit submitted by the Albanian American Club of Westchester for the Albanian American Parade, which will be held on November 24th, 2024.
Yeah, I'll make the motion this and ask that the board consider waiving the fee for this. We had a nice parade last year, and they want to improve on it, and we're very happy to have them. So anyone care to make a second?
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have the correspondence agenda. We have a memorandum from the controller on some budget transfers and revisions. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the Superintendent of Recreation regarding a contract for the Wellness and Nutrition and the Nutrition Services Incentive Program between the town and the Westchester County Department of Senior Programs and Services for the program year 24-25. And this is for the sum of $50,559, which will be used for the home-delivered meals services that we provide to approximately 55 households in the town of Eastchester. Someone care to make a motion authorizing me to execute the agreement with the county?
So moved.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Lastly, in correspondence, we have a memorandum from the from the supervisor in my office regarding a public hearing for the 2025 Town of Eastchester budget to be held on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. in this room. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Giacobbe?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Marcocha?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. There being no miscellaneous business, we'll move to council member reports. Councilman Marcocha.
Thank you, Supervisor. I want to begin by congratulating the Tuckahoe girls varsity soccer team who won the Section 1 Class C championship for the first time since 2002. They had just a great season. And I also want to congratulate the Tuckahoe boys varsity soccer team for also advancing to the Section 1 Class C championship game. Unfortunately, they lost that championship game, but they also had an amazing season. I was able to be at the homecoming games for both the boys and the girls, and they just had phenomenal teams. So I wanted to just congratulate them. Also, on some other news here, the Eastchester Tuckahoe Chamber of Commerce, the owners and the team of the Huntington Learning Center, located at 478 White Plains Road in Eastchester, celebrated their recent opening on Halloween with a ribbon cutting assisted by several members of the Eastchester Tuckahoe Chamber of Commerce Board. I was also happy to attend that event. They transformed the parking lot into a fun park for trick-or-treaters with music, crafts, games, and ice cream. They also showcased their brand-new center with a tour showing the guests where their tutors help the older students elevate their SAT scores and work academic magic for their younger students as well. So that was a really nice event, and we welcome the Huntington Learning Center at 478 White Plains Road. And then finally, the Tuckahoe Eastchester Lions Club presents the second annual holiday toy drive, supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters and the CARE Coalition. They're collecting new unwrapped toys for children the ages of 8 to 17. I actually printed some of these flyers, and they're in the lobby of Town Hall if anyone is interested. But if you want to make a donation, the drop-off locations are Sal's Auto Service at 130 Summerfield Street in Scarsdale, and Harpo's Imported Car Service at 210 Marbledale Road in Tuckahoe. So if anyone wants to donate a gift, please do so, and that would really help cheer some children up for this holiday season. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nicholson.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Don't have any announcements this evening, and hope everyone gets to enjoy the summer-like weather that we continue to have this week. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. Just a couple of things for the Village of Bronxville. The Junior League of Bronxville has stepped up again, as they do every year, with the holidays that will be upon us soon. They will begin collecting food items to put together everything for a nice Thanksgiving dinner for those who might need it. They will be accepting those donations at the Village of Bronxville Village Hall beginning November 8th through November 15th. They can be dropped off there, or they can also be dropped off at the Fleetwood location of Mickey Spillane's. And then secondly, their Take-Back Day is November 16th. This is something they do every day. It's going to be held at Village Hall. It is in conjunction with the Bronxville Green Committee and their Department of Public Works. It will be from 10 to 1, and residents can drop off household items, recyclable items, things of that nature. And also on that same day, the shredder will be over at the elementary school. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Giacobbe.
Thank you, Supervisor. No real announcements for today, but I'd like to say thank you to our Recreation Department, who hosted not one but 3 great events for Halloween over the last 10 days. We had the outdoor movie night at Lake Isle, which was a really nice night. It was probably the only cold night we had all year, but as well attended. We had the trunk or treat outside. Thank you to all our first responders, our police departments that showed up, EMS, our fire department. It was a real big hit for the kids. And of course, we had the Ragamuffin Parade, which was well attended. All the kids had a great day. So thank you there. And if you're driving down Route 22 over the next couple of days, next week, as you know, is Veterans Day. Thank you to our Eastchester Sports Club. Take a look on the high school front lawn. There's, I think, well over 1,000 flags that they very carefully placed in a straight lines for Veterans Day. So thank you to Mario and our sports club for doing that, and all the students today that was out there working. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's quite a nice sight
Yeah.
to go by and see that, and see the kids participating in Veterans Day. And speaking of which, on Monday the 11th at 11 o'clock at the Eastchester Community Center at Lake Isle, we'll be having a Veterans Day ceremony, and each year we do this, and it's been really wonderful, and great attendance, and a little breakfast served, but most importantly, it's a celebration of all of the contributions to this country by our veterans, and the VFW Post does a great job providing a wonderful program, and it's a great event to go to. The last thing I want to mention tonight is I'm going to hand out the tentative budget to the board members, as I have done. It's our obligation. We have filed it with the clerk, and then we have to send it to the board members now. It becomes a public document. And this is the tentative budget for 2025. And just by way of some background information and just some summary, the 2025 tentative budget is $43,823,667.00. And our town tax levy is less than the New York State tax levy cap. Since its inception, we have never gone over the tax levy cap. For the town outside budget, which is our largest budget, outside of the 2 villages, the town tax rate in the tentative budget increase will be 0.9%, less than 1% for the year 2025. Therefore, the average house in Eastchester with an average assessed valuation will pay an additional $27.79 for the entire year, or $2.32 per month. That's our year-to-year changeover is $2.32 per month. If you live in the villages, the town-wide budget will generate a 4.65% tax rate increase, but please note that the town-wide budget is about a quarter of the town outside budget. Therefore, the 4.65% only amounts to $1.19 per month for Tuckahoe residents and $3.51 per month for Bronxville. So for the cost of less than a Starbucks coffee per month, that's your tax increase for the same amount of services that we provide each year. This budget incorporates very reasonable revenue estimates. We also have a health insurance premium increase of 10%. We are also not adding on any full-time staff. You may recall that we are down 30% of our full-time staff over the last 20 years, and we have saved a significant amount of money and asked everyone here to do a little bit more for the same amount of pay. But that nets us a tremendous savings because you also have an additional 40% per employee for health insurance, for retirement contributions, for all kinds of different items. But the biggest thing that we have to contend with is a 24% increase in the pension contribution to New York State. 24%, which is based upon inflation and New York State's mismanagement of the retirement funds that we send to them every year. And the way it works is, no matter what they do with the money we send them every year, if they lose a lot of money, or if on a rare occasion they make a couple of bucks, we have to continue to reimburse it and refill it, so to speak, every single year. And they have a very poor track record of managing our funds. And unfortunately, 24% is a big, big number for us to handle. I mean, the market was way up today, thank God, so maybe we'll have a little bit of relief in next year's number. Also, like as I said earlier, we did not exceed the tax levy cap. Our average town outside tax rate increase over the last 5 years is 1%, 1% per year. People around us are going up substantially. We're holding tight at 1%. Also, our debt ratio is only 2.5%. That's an excellent ratio of reserves to debt. You know, if you get up around 9, 10%, you're in fiscal trouble. We have never been near that, and we are at the high end of the scale. Also, we have and continue to enjoy a Moody's AAA bond rating, which is the highest rating you can get as a municipal government. And lastly, we have a 0% designation for financial stress by the New York State Controller. You know, we have had that designation now as far as their records are kept. They tell us every 3 years where we are. Each of the three years, the last 3 years, we've had a 0% designation for financial stress, which means that we are excellently managed, we have great reserves, we have low debt service, we have our budget in order with all kinds of appropriate measurements and calculations for our 2025 budget. There will be some budget hearings. Particularly, we'll have one on the first meeting in December, but we'll have a budget workshop with the Lake Isle Advisory Board working out issues at Lake Isle. We will likely have a workshop with the board members, and of course, anyone has any ideas, you can always farm them to us. And I want to thank Dawn and the town board members in advance for the work we're going to do on this in anticipation of December's adoption of this tentative budget into our final budget. So anyway, with that being said, that concludes my reports. And we have anyone for the second opportunity? No? So we're going to make a motion to adjourn. Someone can make a motion?
So moved.
All right, all in favor? Joe, if you don't mind, I'll take the lead to say all in favor. Okay, thank you very much, all.
Aye.